The NFL made a big headline yesterday, Shireen, with the news that over the next 10 years, the NFL will donate $250 million to combat systemic racism. And that is a huge headline. That is a big deal. $250 million, or the cost of Jerry Jones' yacht. Either way, $250 million is $250 million. There's no other way to cut it. But, and, you know, we did the math, and our good friend Amy Trask did the math, and others did the math. And when you do the math, over 10 years with 32 teams, it's and this is not a criticism. And Amy Trask made the mistake of, I think, last night trying to respond to every single person who was attacking her for being critical. It's not a criticism. It's a fact. It's a fact. 781,250 per team per year. I mean, hey, look, collectively $250 million, great. But when you break it down, we're talking about billion-dollar businesses here. We're not talking about all that much money per team per year being thrown into the pot to fix this problem.
I think first we start, Mike, with kudos. Big number. Glad they did it. You had to do something besides the words. The Goodell video was great. It was a step. You had to take that next step, which was giving money. But let's go back. They did the same thing 2 years ago, and we did the same figures, and it was about the same amount of money. I like the teams that are going a step further and also giving money. The Minnesota Vikings, for instance, have given $5 million. They announced that earlier this week. And some other teams have given some money. And the Vikings have started the George Floyd scholarship, $125,000. So, you know, various teams are doing things. So kudos to them for doing all this. But yes, when you talk about what these billion-dollar owners make off of the NFL, off of what they do, this is a drop in the bucket for them. It's a step, but still more needs to be done. Let's start there.
And it's a step that's part of a formula, and it's a formula that we've become familiar with. Issue statement, throw money. Issue statement, throw money. And it's fine. Look, the money will be helpful, I'm sure. But in this moment, this is the point where the old rule book gets ripped up. And I think that what people are looking for is authenticity. What people are looking for is something more raw, something more real, something that reflects a true acknowledgement of the problem that has been hiding in plain sight for decades, if not centuries, and an awakening. Not just a statement, not just a check, but something that proves that everything is dramatically different than it was. And when we look around elsewhere, look no farther than what NASCAR did. One fell swoop. Get the Confederate flag the hell out of here. Gone. Get it out of here for good. The kind of thing that is jarring and the kind of thing that speaks to the awakening that so many people are having. And when I see the same old formula from the NFL, it's like, look, hey, the Goodell video was great, even though it didn't match completely what the players wanted, and I think it would have been better if it would have been a montage of owners to match the montage of players, if only they had an employee in the league who could put that. Oh, wait, they do. That's the guy who put together the one for the players and went rogue to do it. But look, it hasn't been perfect, but the statement was good, and it was Roger Goodell's finest moment. But what you do after that is what's important. And the old formula of throw money at it and make a statement and get some good PR points, I don't know that is the way to go anymore.
No, and you know, we're going to talk about a lot of things they can do. And I think one thing that would go a long way that we don't have on our list to talk about is the national anthem. If there are protests, the league to support that. Back that up. You know, Jerry Jones has said repeatedly, that toes on the line. My guys are going to stand for the national anthem. And they have. The Cowboys are one of the only teams that haven't protested this thing so far. But times have changed. This feels different. It's a movement. It's a change. Things are different now in the league. And so they need to come out and support the players in whatever way they want to protest. And if that's kneeling for the national anthem, that's kneeling for the national anthem. But there needs to be, around the league, solid support for the players in whatever they want to do, however they want to protest, whatever they want to say. They need to use their platforms, as Patrick Mahomes pointed out this week.
And you're absolutely right. And that's something that Sims and I talked about earlier in the week, that it can't be the coach who says, I support my guys, or the coach who says, We're going to make a team decision. Look, team decision dilutes the will of the individual. The individual gets overcome by the team dynamic, and the desires of the coach or the team leaders end up trickling down to everyone else, even if that's what they don't want to do. What I have said is every owner, and this would be a perfect opportunity for a montage video, every owner needs to say not just it's okay or, that kind of passive tolerance that we saw a couple of years ago. It needs to be a clear affirmative statement that I want every member of the organization to make a conscious decision as to what is the appropriate thing to do during the national anthem, whether it's kneel, sit, stand, or something else. And I want you to make that decision, and I encourage you to make the decision. I encourage you to do the thing that you feel in your heart you should do, and I support you completely, and there will be no repercussions. You will not be cut because of it. You will not be benched because of it. Your playing time won't be limited because of it. You won't get a new contract because of it. We support you, and we want you to make this decision. We want you to implement the decision that is in your heart. That's the kind of clarity, because otherwise it feels reluctant. It feels like, well, yeah, we wrote that policy and it's got a donut hole in it that we probably shouldn't have put in there, and it says should stand instead of must stand, and the lawyers have gotten involved now and the union's involved, so we gotta let them stand if they want to stand. It can't be that. It's got to be stronger. I think you're onto something there.
Absolutely, Mike, and this Jerry Jones needs to come out, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that later on, but the owners do need to speak out, and their voices need to be loud, and they need to be as one to say, we support you players, however you want to protest, whatever you want to do in this league is fine by us. And there can't be any repercussions for this, which is what they tried to do a couple years ago. And, as it turns out, Colin Kaepernick obviously was right, and everybody should have listened a lot sooner than what they have listened, but they're listening now. And I think that's the point moving forward. It's got to be more, and they've got to listen even more to their players, and whatever their players want, they've got to say, okay, you're right. We'll let you have it.
So the official list of things that the owners can do, I think we can expand to 3, and things work better in 3s. Item 1, make a clear statement of unconditional support for whatever any player chooses to do during the anthem. Owners need to do it, not coaches, not the commissioner, no one else. The owners need to do it. All 32 need to do it, period.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.